good evening, everyone. Trust you had a wonderful day, and this is the long anticipated webinar. And I'm glad to have you here tonight. While we wait for other people to join us this evening, please drop your name and your location where you're joining us from so that we know where everybody is coming from. And drop your anticipation, what you want to. What you're willing to hear or what you're waiting to hear tonight so that we cover everything that's is actually on your mind tonight. Please drop it as let's keep it coming. At the dot of 8:05, we are going to start. All right, Josh, good to hear from you tonight. Josh from Akure, learn how to navigate through tech in this unstable economy. All right, so we have a minute more to kickstart our webinar tonight. Okay. All right, good evening once again, and this is the start. Okay, Roland from Akwa Ibom. Your expectation is to learn. His expectation is how to earn big as a freelancer. Amazing. Yeah, we are going to be talking about that definitely. Elisha Musa from Alero Kebbi State. I'm learning how to code LMS. Oh, amazing. All right. Like I mentioned, welcome once again to this powerful webinar. So I would love that we chat through reactions. So I had to mute everyone so that we could have a very quiet environment for us to talk. And tonight with me, joining me is our guest for tonight. I'm going to be speaking as well. He's going to be speaking. But before we actually start with this, the first thing I want us to know is that we need to prepare our mind for this webinar. Yes, I promise not to spend more than an hour on this webinar, and let's make this 1 hour a very impactful one for us. And in trying to make this an impactful one for us, it means we need to be very attentive. That's one. These are the things that I believe that I want to hear from you, or I want you all to do in this webinar. You need to be attentive, and number two, you need to ask questions as much as possible. As the chat is ongoing, ask as much as possible questions. Not just that alone. There are also there are things I'm going to be mentioning towards the end of the webinar. And it's only going to be for people that are attended this webinar. So there are just so many things to benefit from this webinar tonight. All right, so let's kickstart this. And this is all about securing your future. Now, we understand what's the environment or what the atmosphere is at the moment, especially for African countries and several other places, part of the world, where there's been unemployment, and there has been a lot of transition in terms of power. Or what are those things that you can do in such a way that you can secure your own future, not just your future, the future of your children that are also coming that you have not even given birth to? How can you secure all of this? And we discovered that technology is one of the ways in which you can actually get this done, honestly. If you can focus on what you can do, right? What you can do in terms of value exchange that can give you or that can put you at the front of the game or that can put you at the forefront, I think it's going to set a high value for you and it's going to help you personally as an individual to soar in the tech industry and not just in the tech industry as well. You'll be able to be useful to people. At the moment, we see people earning in dollars, earning in pounds, and several other currency. And this is because these people have invested in skills that can help them earn across borders. So you are no longer restricted to a particular place. So to become this very person that does this, you need to actually have a skill and not just having the skill. One of the reasons I brought Ifeolu this night, Ifekiton here this night is like, I actually want him to actually tell us how to actually make this money from your tech skill that you have already, because it's one thing to have the skill and it's another thing to be able to market the skill to be able to get that desired job. So I want you all to drum roll. I want you to do a few things because I'm going to bring in the speaker now. So tell me, I want you to be excited. Put in your best emoji. Until I see your reaction, I'm not bringing it in. So I expect to start seeing that now as I bring in our speaker for tonight. Let me see. Let's keep that coming. Just put your best emoji. Put it in the chat. You can react. Yeah, from David. I've seen from David. I want to see more. 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 Okay, amazing, amazing, amazing. All right. So I'm still seeing. I'm still expecting more. Thank you for the comments. I'm still expecting more. I'm expecting more. Yeah, amazing. Just keep it rolling. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. All right. Keep it coming. Yeah, thank you for responding. All right. Yeah, good evening. Can we have Ife? Good evening, Ife. Good evening. If you are here with us, please unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Ife. If you're there. Yeah, good evening. Okay, Ife, you're muted. Okay, it seems you are unable to unmute your microphone. Am I correct? Okay. Just all right. Yeah, you can unmute yourself now.
Yeah, hi guys. Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you actually. Yeah, it's good to see you tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah, amazing. So I'm going to actually introduce Ife, right? I'm going to introduce Ife to us now. I wanted him to come up first. So my first encounter with Ife was like, I really don't know. I was like, what kind of human being is this? Like, this guy said a whole lot of things like the first day we met. So let me explain how we met. So I got an appointment with the company, and at that time, Ife also joined that company as a product designer. And I met him and we were discussing as though we had met before. And Ife was actually discussing some key things when it comes to this job market. As a product designer, Ife is not just a product designer, Ife is a problem solver. I must tell you, being a problem solver has been one of the things that I know that has actually put him at the top of his game. So talking about his design skill and how he actually approaches problem, and there are also some things that he actually mentioned in terms of his education, how he has made some kind of risk. And I was like, what kind of human being is this? Who does this kind of things? I was like, okay, I think it's only Ife. So why I feel like Ife is a worthy person to have been brought into this webinar is because number one, we're actually discussing how people can actually make a life-changing decision. Ife was at a point where because he mentioned some of those things then, where he was at a point where he wasn't even enjoying what he was doing from school and all, but then he put in the effort and because he knew what he wanted for himself. And today I can tell you, I'm not going to be the one to let the cat out of the bag about where Ife has worked or where he's working for. In fact, these are the guys that actually disclose all of this is because, these are actually like the tech bros making the money in the space. So it's a privilege that we are having Ife on the call tonight. I must tell you, it's a privilege that we have him. So I want us to pay attention as we are going to be talking about things that Ife has done. So Ife, please, can we meet you?
Yeah, good evening, guys. Yeah, thanks, Shagun, for the for the hype and everything like that, man. But yeah. So my name is Ifeoluwa, product designer, front end developer, and like Shagun already said, I'm not afraid to take risks and do things differently. One of the things I tell myself is no matter where you are in life, you are supposed to be able to learn, unlearn, and relearn certain things. You understand? One of the things that happen in the world today is that a lot of people, when they learn to a certain extent, you just stop there. You understand? They feel they are putting to the top of the game, and they become very, very stiff. You understand? And it's hard for them to learn new stuff. So when there's a shift in the market, it's hard for them to adjust. You understand? So that's one of the things. But to speak more about myself, yeah, I've worked at a lot of fintech organizations. You understand? InterSwitch, iInvest, and the likes. You understand? So I've had a lot of experience in the Nigerian tech market and fintech market generally. You understand? So I believe there's a lot I can share for you guys this evening. So it's nice to meet you guys. So hope we have a nice one.
Yeah, my boss. Yeah, my boss. Okay, so thank you very much, Ife. So for me, I'm a product manager, and yeah, during my first encounter with Ife, I was like, okay, yeah, so I'm a very loyal person. I'm a product manager, and I was like, oh, a product manager, that's good though. No problem, we will roll. Eventually, we were not onboarded on the same team. That was where I was like, oh, so we are not going to work together. So we didn't work together. But then the experience I had with Ife during that time, I said, no, this is just one person out of a whole lot of people. So I'm going to be asking Ife some questions this evening. Please confirm in the comment section that you can hear me clearly now. Someone complained that my voice was a bit low. Please confirm, just put something in the chat so I'm sure that I'm audible enough. All right. If please, can you just share? Okay, amazing. Thank you for the feedback. Can you just share some of your little background in tech, like what the experience was like when you started out in tech?
Okay, nice one. So I'm going to keep it 100. For me, growing up, I was pretty lucky to be exposed to computers at a young age. So I was exposed to them, but this is where I did the work. I had to I got interested in them and I had to put more work into them. So let me give you an instance. So in secondary school, I did not have computer science teachers. Yeah. So what I did, because I was in boarding house then, so what I did was, my pocket money, I'll take it out, I'll go outside of school, go to browsing centers, to learn how to browse, to learn how to use the internet and all of that. So those are the little sacrifices I was making at a very young age, you understand? So when I got into university, you understand, tech wasn't booming then, so it was hard to tell people that I wanted to go and study computer science in school. When you told people computer science, then what came to their mind was computer studies. You understand that you're kind of, doing like a secretarial job or something like that. So I did the whole thing, science. Science, biological sciences. It didn't work for me. My parents wanted me to do medicine and but it didn't work for me. So I decided to go for just a 4-year course, any 4-year course. I wasn't even bothered because I knew I was not going to work in that line. You understand? So during my time in school, I was, hustling around tech environments, where they do video editing, where they do graphic editing, graphic designs and the likes. You understand? I just made sure I was there. So I learned how to design flyers. Those were the common things then. And posters and the likes. Then I went into web development then, the whole HTML, CSS and all of that, but then it wasn't really it for me, you understand, because I guess I was more experienced in the whole design thing and So when I left school, I didn't even know that I was going to go into tech, honestly. When I left school, I basically like stopped designing, and I was just doing like, um, entertainment hustle, this artist wants to shoot this music video, I'm going there, this one, and all of that. But after some time, I just, I wanted something stable, and I went into, I had these design skills already, and I'm going to piggyback on that. You understand? I had these design skills already, so I just decided to go and try and work in a digital agency. That was like the common thing back then. Servicing companies like Techno, Gioni, social media designs and all this stuff. So that's what I was doing. And during my time there, I was still in the whole designing for devices. So sometimes I'll just take my Android phone back then, I'll take a screenshot and I want to design it exactly. Case in point, I did a PGD in information technology, and during that time, me just being bored and all, I was trying to design my own operating system, how my own operating system is going to look like and all of that. So that's just the mindset, like I said, I'm still going to piggyback on that. So I used to design screens or take screenshots of my Android applications and try and replicate the designs and all of that. So after that, I met someone, and that's the thing. That's another thing. You need to like broaden your network. You understand? Because that's very important in this tech game. So I just met someone, and the guy was like, "The way you design." You understand? He just looked at my design generally. He said, "The way you design, it looks like you're designing for a screen, for like a phone or for like a computer or something like that." And he was like, "Have you heard about UX design and all?" And I was like, "Nope." That day, I went to Google, I went to do research and all those things, And basically that's why I kicked off my career from UX design. Look, the moment that guy told me that stuff, 6 months or 7 months later, I was already working in a software company, you understand? And that's another thing you need to have in this tech industry, the whole resilience and the whole putting your feet down that this is what you want to do, and come rain or sunshine. So ever since then, I've been designing. So worked at Longbridge, where we serviced banks, core banking applications. From there, I went to iInvest, an investment platform and the like. At iInvest, I actually worked as a front-end engineer to a UX designer and a front-end engineer too, because I wanted to broaden my knowledge in the tech industry. There's always this divide between designers and front-end engineers. Like designers might not understand the language of front-end engineers, and at the same time, front-end engineers might not really understand what designers is saying. You get. So I was like, I'm going to learn front-end engineering. You understand? I'm going to work as a front-end designer, and that choice actually shaped my product design career generally, in a way that I could bridge the gap between designers and engineers in almost any environment I got myself into. You understand? So when maybe they're having Scrum sessions and the likes, and the designer is saying something and the front end is like, I don't understand it. Sometimes I just explain it in the language that the front end engineer understands. Like, even I can give the person like the code that can help the person do stuff like that. I understand. And that's another intentional decision that I made that gave me an edge in the industry. You get. So, and also after that happened, after getting my foot solid in the industry, I now moved into mentorship too. I told myself, I have to start mentoring other people, and that's one of the reasons I'm here today. The idea of giving back into the society and all of that. So basically, that's it. That's how I got into the tech industry. You understand? You're muted, caller. Sheldon.
I just noticed that. Yeah, so thank you for that because that was very insightful. From one of the things that you mentioned, like mentorship, I know it took so long before I could bring you here. Like, I think this has been like it's almost 6 months that I've been trying to bring you. You know, I'll call him, I'll tell him, okay, we want to do this. But that's just how busy people can be. But for the fact that he actually has the mindset to give back, thank you for that. And you were talking about curiosity. Like curiosity is one of the things that actually help people to grow. Like you just want to know more about something, and that was actually, and that's even similar to the story of Bill Gates. He wasn't actually doing it because he wanted to make money. Then he just wanted to do it because he just wanted to know more. And at the very end, I don't need to talk to anybody about Bill Gates' success today. But then that's how like most people are made. But now, as I would say, at this moment, we don't need to tell anyone again that okay, come and do tech or this. You know that there is actually money in tech, right? And this is not the first webinar, or this is not the first time that you're actually hearing that uh, tech is doing people well. But then, why is it like there are a lot of people who have not actually made this breakthrough as far as tech is concerned? Is it like they are not learning the right thing, or maybe they are learning, but what they are learning does not actually like translate? So now that will bring me to this question. So, what were those decisions that you made at that early stage? So, in terms of okay, that you know that you're actually grateful for. So, when I say grateful for, it's like you started your career, and between knowing how to design, what are those things that have given you competitive advantage when it comes to getting a job? Because I know you have worked with different companies, and if you put your CV out there, a lot of people would want to take in your CV, and that's not that alone. In fact, I know that there are a lot of people reaching out to you via LinkedIn, referrals, and all of this. Yes, it happens, but why is it that a lot of people are looking for a job? Because I'm going to share my own story too. I have like a lot of things I want to show us on this call. Like, how is it that people are looking for a job, but some people, HRs are the ones actually pursuing them? So, what are those decisions that you made that actually gave you that those edge?
Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Yeah. And it goes in two dimensions. Yeah. There's the thing you have to do, and there's the situation of the market. So let me explain from the personal concept for what you have to do. Yeah. Uh, First things first. Yeah. You need to be resilient and be committed, and you need to have a research-based mentality. Now, from my experience, a lot of people drop from tech when it comes to coding. And from my experience, everybody that wants to go into tech, the first thing they want to do is to code. And I tell people that that's, except you are like a mathematical genius, or that's how your brain is formed. There are some people like that naturally, that they pick up anything that has to do with numbers and the likes, they'll pick it up easily. Except you are that person, I would advise you to take it slow. I tell people that there's a 6 months and there's a 6 months rule, there's a 3 months rule. I tell people that if you are intentional about something, the way this country is, if you are intentional about something, yeah, and almost any tech skill, if you give it 3 to 6 months, that means you are waking up, you are sleeping, doing it every day. Every day, you are giving it like 4 hours or 5 hours every day for 6 months. I can almost guarantee you that you'll be employable by the end of 6 months. But the frustrating thing there is this, yeah, a lot of people end up doing something, the things that they are not comfortable doing. So for example, now I chose design, yeah, and I told you I did back then. I first did a little bit of front end, but I left it and went back to design because that's where I was more comfortable at. That is not a bad thing to do. You have to have a research mentality. Look at everything that is happening in tech. Look at all the roles. You can Google. Everybody almost has access. Almost everybody here right now has access to the internet. That's why they are here. Google tech roles in 2023, tech roles, for the future and all of that. Look at those roles. Do an intricate research on each of these roles. Does this one speak to me? Does this one speak to me? It's like I can do this one. It's like I can do this one. For us, for the people that went to university and the likes, I remember that back in school then, when I see my course form for the semester, I look at some courses and I tell myself that no, this one I'm going to get A here, that one is for sure. You understand? This one I might need to buckle up because this one looks a little bit troublesome. So it's the same way when you want to choose careers, yeah. You look at it and be like, am I going to find this one easy to do? You understand? Now, if I find it easy to do, how many openings are here? You understand? Because you have to look about how many people are requesting for those professionals in the market. You understand? You can't just go out there and be doing anything easy. You understand? You have to do something that people actually want. You understand? That's why I say top jobs for 2023. Look at all those jobs. Okay, these are the jobs that are in vogue right now. Which of these jobs, do I think I can pick? You understand? Do I think I can do? Now, you might also want to consider, for some people, that, okay, these are the, so out of these 7 roles, or out of these 10 roles, yeah, I think I can do these 4. So you now take these 4, you now look at these 4 and be like, am I going to enjoy doing any of these? You understand? Now, if you feel you are going to enjoy one more than the other, probably you should take that, you understand? Because it will be easy for you to wake up to do that thing. When you are bored, when you are tired, it will be easy for you to go and do that thing, you understand? Now, when that is done, you need to start disciplining yourself. You need to discipline yourself a lot. To survive in this tech game, you need a lot of discipline. You need to tell yourself that for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be sleeping 1 a.m. in the morning, and I'm going to be waking up 6 a.m. in the morning or 5 a.m. in the morning, because these are the tasks I have to do and I need to get them done. That's the mentality you have. So you need to tell yourself that in the next 3 to 6 months, this is what I need to achieve, or this is the landmark I need to get to. Sometimes it cannot be easy doing it alone. That's why sometimes you need to find a mentor in the industry too, somebody that can benchmark your progress and can tell you what to do, where to plant your feet, things you should skip for now, best practices. You understand? Best practices are very, very important. So for example, when I do my mentorship training for product designers, you understand, I tell them, I say, see, you need to learn how to do interviews, you need to learn how to do your portfolios, you need to learn how to manage stakeholders, you understand? Because you will find out that almost anybody can design, but are people comfortable working with you? Are your solutions, you understand, are they team work solutions, or is it solutions that you just want to bring out from somewhere and you expect the team to accept and all of that? So those are the other skills you need to learn, you understand? And mentors can help you do that a lot. Now, you need to look at the market, you understand? And I know I mentioned that earlier. You need to look at the market, you need to look at what is involved, where these opportunities are. It's so crazy right now that even in the tech industry right now, professionals are leaving Nigeria because their job roles, you understand, maybe they have more openings in their job roles in maybe UK or in Germany or in Netherlands or something like that, So they don't want to have to compete because the competition is high in Nigeria. I won't lie to you, you understand? So, but one of the things I can tell you to start is to have a research mind, research the roles that are out there, the ones that you think can work for you. And out of the ones that you think can work for you, the ones that you think you might enjoy, you understand? So that you don't need to motivate yourself too much to do them, you understand? So those are the things you need to put in mind, basically. Hope I answered the questions. If I didn't touch something, you can just ask again.
You know what? It's like answering like 150% because like you actually answered it beyond what I was even expecting. So like it's perfect, like very perfect. So I'll pick some of the things you mentioned. You were mentioning that, I mean, when you started, you said like, okay, when somebody is starting out in tech, one needs to be sure that, okay, I want to devote 2 hours of my time. I want to devote 15 minutes of my time. I still want us to even dig it deeper. So now, what is the place of, okay, so at the point of, I mean, when you started your career, what can you really say about, I'll paint 2 scenarios now.
Okay.
Having an environment that helps you to learn, or having to learn yourself. you can share it through your story.
Okay.
Either you learn by yourself, or when you now discover that, okay, when you started like mentoring, like you mentioned, so when you started mentoring people, the benefits that you eventually saw that, man, mentorship is actually very good. So how can mentorship actually affect someone's journey, or learning on your own? Which one do you think is the best? So I want to share from your experience.
Okay, so there's a high probability you are going to do both. You are first, you learn a little bit by yourself, because a lot of mentors out there don't want to take somebody from 0%. They want somebody that has a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of
Mm.
drive and all that kind of stuff. If you watch all those Chinese movies that time and you want somebody to be your master, you understand, the master will tell you to train with somebody first and let them see what you have before they take you under their wings. You
So which
understand?
means
So
value
mentors,
begets value. Value begets value.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, it does. It does. And you need to show zeal. For me, one of the things I look at is the drive to want to continuously learn, you understand? And when you are giving feedback, you are ready to work on the feedback, you understand? So for the people that I even take under my wings, even after the mentorship program has ended, there are people that they are ready. They are not waiting for me to ask them that what's happening. You understand? They are calling me and they're like, "Oh, there's this thing I'm working on right now. Can you give me some tips and everything? And all of that. Those people that have that kind of energy, that's it for me, because you have to be willing. There's a lot of clouds in the tech industry. There's a lot of cloud, and even in the work environment, you will notice something that a lot of employers want somebody that is always going to be present first before the whole problem solving and everything, because they know that there's a very high probability that you always get better. There's a high probability. That's why you have trainings in the office and everything, career trainings and all that. But first, they want somebody that has a good attitude, that is always willing to learn and unlearn and do that, all those kind of things. Now, the second part, I said you learn by yourself first before you get to the mentor. What mentorship can do to you is that I believe we are mostly, a lot of us understand teaching here, so there's this statement of follow who no road. You understand?
Mm.
So what a mentor does is that extra journey, the Israelite journey that you are not supposed to take, they will just help you not to take it. Basically, that's what mentors, that's what they do. You understand? So when you are trying to make a decision or you're trying to do something and you are spending a lot of unnecessary time trying to do something or trying to get something, you can quickly just call out your mentor that, oh, this is happening, what can I do, and everything, So for example, you have a job interview, you understand, and they already give you a task and everything, or you have a job interview and you run to your mentor is like, research the company profile, research people that are working in the company, research the products they have made, look at how you can add value to those products, you understand, just in case they ask you in the interview and all of that. You understand? A lot of someone like me, it took me a while before I understood those things, you understand? Because at that early stage of my career, I really didn't have tech mentors. There were really no many tech mentors. We that are the senior guys now, the leads and everything right now, we were the ones that were coming up with them, you understand? We were the single UX designers in a company, the single this one in a company, you understand?
Yeah.
Our leads then were not tech people, you understand? So we didn't really have all those people to tell us all these things, you understand? So we used to tell each other all these things. That's what we used to do then. So I know a lot of my friends, some are in the UK now and everything, that back then we just sit down and be like, oh, I went to this interview yesterday. See what I talk, and everything. And people like, yeah, and they talk, say it makes sense and everything, you understand? And I got the job. So in our mind, we're like, oh, this person said this thing and this thing. That means that thing makes sense. Okay, we'll use it another time. You understand? Oh, I went to this interview. I did this, I said this and this and this, and they told me I didn't pass the interview. Maybe it's because you said this. Maybe it's because you said this. So that's what we used to do then. You understand? So, and that's why I say for the younger people, So people coming up right now, it's easier for them in this tech game. It's easier to get the skill, but it might be harder for them to get a job because of the competition. But it's easier for them to get the skill. So that's one of the pros of having a mentor. You understand? And a mentor can call you up and say that, have you seen this news? Have you seen this news? This is what is happening in the industry right now. These are the skills you need to learn now to become better. These are what you need to do. Maybe yourself, you should pick up a mentorship role and start mentoring others right now so that you can learn and all of that. You get. So that's the good thing about having a mentor. You understand? You become a senior person. You understand? In a shorter time. That's the good thing about having a mentor. You get. So that's just how it is in this game.
Amazing. You said something just now. You said if you have a mentor, you'll become a senior in such a shorter time. You're very correct.
Yes.
I would say something at the moment. I think I was chatting with a friend, so I recommended him to a job. So I shared him the link. So I had him connect into the job anyway. I shared it with him, and they called him for an interview. And inside the technical assessment that he was given, he wrote 3 years, and I perceived him. He's a product designer like you too. So I perceived him and I said, guy, don't write that 3 years. Your experience is the 5 years that companies are actually looking for. So like you mentioned, 3 years experience, what companies are actually looking for? 7 years experience, 6 years experience. People with 2 years of experience now have such, right? Based on what you said, because now it's easy to get the skill, but getting the job is what is difficult. So I'm going to ask this last question. So I will ask like 2 questions in one so that I can say something and allow people to ask their questions. So now I want to say this. So if you say like we have like, okay, it's now easier to get the skill. So what is now difficult is how to get the job, but people are not getting the job because of competition. So what then is the competitive advantage at the moment? Talking about the fact that I know that people are reaching out to you on LinkedIn. So like it's just a thing of this phrase, this life no balance. Somebody is looking for a job and they are pursuing you with job in one place. So why is it like we have engineers, software engineers working with 3 companies? At a point I was guilty of this, working with 3 companies at the same time, and somebody does not have a job. I believe you can relate to what I'm saying, right?
Oh, facts.
Yeah, so you can shoot.
So first of all, I'll speak to Nigeria as a culture. Our economy right now doesn't really allow us to grow people, and that's the mistake we're making because we don't want to make sacrifices. We just want to hit the ground running, make money, then start wasting money on advertisement and start sponsoring Big Brother Nigeria and everything like that, and all of that. There are very few experienced people. Now, like you rightly said, because we live in a capitalist environment, they just want people that can come in and do the job. So they want somebody that has 5 years experience because they want somebody that will just come down and just do magic without them having to train the person and do all those things. Now, you get to a lot of organizations, international organizations. You might not start working in this first 6 months when you get a job. You might not start working, you understand? They will just, your first 1 month might be orientation. Then they might give you their own training, you understand? They might give you some courses under them to do some training. They now put you under a team just to observe. You can observe for 2 months before you even start doing anything.
I think you were breaking.
I was breaking.
Yeah, we heard the part where you mentioned that somebody can actually get a job, and in 6 months he has not even started doing anything. It's just learning.
Yeah, like in a lot of big organizations, you understand. So because they have this growth mentality, you understand. It's like taking people from 0 to 100 and everything, and build people in the company culture and everything. So the secret is this, There's a very high probability, very high, not 100% probability that when you take somebody from nothing and you grow them in the company's culture, it takes longer for them to leave, you understand? Because psychologically the company is what they've known, you understand, and all of that, basically. But Nigerian companies have really not gotten to that point. So what they want is experienced people. So what happens is this. So I've managed to get up to 6+ years of experience in the industry. So they see my profile on LinkedIn, they reach out to me. Company B wants 6 years experience. There are not many people that have that 6 years experience. You understand? They see my profile, they reach out to me. So that's like 4 or 5, at the end of the day, like 4 or 5 or 6 companies reaching out to me, where the person that has 3 years experience or 2 years experience, nobody's reaching out to them. You understand? Now, it now gets worse, you understand? In that, now, a lot of people like me are no more in the country, yeah? So, there are now more 5 years plus experience jobs in the market and less people that have those experiences, you understand? So I remember even when we met that time, I was working like 3 or 4 jobs that time now, Yeah. And I remember I was telling you that if these people do anyhow like this, I'll just die. And I also told you something, if you can recall. I said I wanted them on my portfolio. I know I mentioned something like that. That I wanted the company's profile on my portfolio. So that's one thing a lot of people miss. You understand? Me, I want a strong portfolio. So right now, no Nigerian company, no Nigerian tech company. I'm saying this. I don't want to be proud saying this, but no Nigerian company can tell me that I don't have enough experience. You understand? Which digital sector have I not touched? You understand? Especially, which profile don't I have? You understand? If it comes to identity, I've worked in the identity sector. If it comes to finance, I've worked in finance. If it comes to real estate, I've worked in real estate. And I'm talking about top tier companies there, you understand? So, and those are one of the sacrifices I also made. Maybe I didn't mention it earlier, you understand? I was ready to take up less to have a certain company on my portfolio, you understand? Those are one of the sacrifices. Also, as designers and other tech professionals too, you should be ready to work for free, you understand? And I wanted to mention that earlier, but I didn't mention it. Especially when you're starting. It is crazy. It sounds like slave job, but it's when you work for free that you can have a lot of projects on your portfolio, you understand? And the people that I've mentored in this industry, even these are not even designers right now. I've mentored front-end engineers and the likes. Those are one of the ways they got into, you understand? I told them to, do freelance projects, do volunteer projects and likes, and have them on your portfolio. So, so back to what we are saying here, basically, and that's the way the industry is, you understand? So, sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah. So, at the end of it all, we just need to make some of the sacrifices. The truth is, the beginning is really not going to be that rosy. I won't lie to you, especially the country we find ourselves in. But another thing I will say is this here: don't think with a Nigerian mindset. I tell my mentees this: don't think with a Nigerian mindset. Think with a global mindset. Think with the mindset that you are going to work in an international organization. What that does, it helps you take mediocrity out of your mind too. You understand? So just have that in mind.
Oh, amazing. Thank you very much, Ife. I think you even covered like a lot of things that I would have said normally, like talking about collaboration, why you need to have a lot of companies on your portfolio, just like you mentioned, I've worked with some kind of people, and working with them, I tell people around me, see, I just want to work with these people because I want to put them on my CV. I did that to that same company that you're mentioning that we once went to. So this is not actually to do the company bad. I need to balance something, right? We actually did some of these things because both the company and we ourselves, we are both selling something. We are selling a value and we want to help them to also sell value. So as much as you are doing this, if the company actually folds tomorrow, or let me say the company cannot pay you tomorrow, they will actually they will lay you off. So which is, I'm not teaching everybody or teaching people how to be selfish. No, this is not to teach people how to be selfish. Rather, is to tell you how you're supposed to position in the market. See, if you're not there, they will employ other people. So if you actually get the opportunity to work on projects, so now one of the things that we actually figured is that a lot of people are now actually learning. Somebody, you meet an average youth, right, that is not doing, fraud at all. The person is telling you, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a this and that. So everybody is literally learning one thing in tech, one or two things in tech. So if everybody is learning one or two things in tech, why are people actually not getting job? Is it the quality of what they have learned? And that brings me, thank you very much, Ife. So I'll just stop for about 10 minutes, then we'll take some questions from people here. So talking about collaboration. So okay, I think I shared something yesterday, a job in Kenya, right? That a recruiter reached out to me. I mean, for free. Person just said, I need somebody. I need a React developer, a well-experienced React developer. I have a project I'm doing in Kenya, and I want the person should be ready to, like, recommendation, direct, and the person there come from Kenya. Do you know? I actually shared this opportunity. Let me say I got more than 50 applications from people. Trust me, the ones that I know I could recommend was actually like five. Now, if I say I could recommend like five. So what is the problem with most people? There are people that have actually know how to do this job, but they don't actually know how to position themselves to the recruiter. I met somebody even sent me something. I said, I saw the person's resume and I saw a project on the person's resume. And I now tapped on the project and I now saw what the person is. I was like, wow, this project is nice. But on his resume, you won't believe what I'm seeing is just 2 years experience. I now asked him, I said, how many years experience do you have? He said 4 years experience. I said, your resume is not reflecting the same. So your resume is actually like your first contact. So the company does not even want to know if you have been learning for 8 years or 10 years. They just want to see it on your resume that, oh, learn how to even convert your projects, the project that you have even been doing, learn how to convert it into companies. So like at the early stage, maybe you don't actually have like companies that you're working on, but you work with project or a group of friends. Package that particular project as though it was a company. Don't just say freelance, because most of the times when those companies actually see freelance projects and they get turned off, like this one did not work with anybody, this one is a solo project. And if you actually understand that, oh, I should not go through the route of freelance, I should go through that, even if it's a freelance, you're actually working for a client and that client has a company. So all you need to do is just to package it as though it is a company, and that's our first job. And that's why the moment you get your first job, you have you have. So I'm going to pick three things now. So number one is there is something called skill, and number two, there's something called positioning. There's something called skill and there's something called position. Number one, have you even learned the right skill? Just like Ife has explained to us, it was like, okay, anything can actually make you, like, you can actually succeed at anything. If this is what you want to do, you feel like this thing is actually good for me. There are people here that they know that coding is not actually for them, except you are someone that you know that you're actually a mathematical genius. I know that I actually love, maybe you have a background of engineering, you like solving complex problems. I can recommend coding for you. But if you're someone that you know that you don't really like coding, you don't really like anything that will stress your brain too much, at the beginning, you might want to consider less brain tasking career where you can go into, like, design is not less brain tasking, but then compared to coding at the early stage. So when you start, there's little that you might have to do at the early stage. But then when you start moving in your career journey, you discover that every career, when they get to the peak, they actually have the problem solving aspect. So, and as at that stage, because you have learned to a certain extent, you have actually grown along the line. So that's why people should learn the right skill. So, are you even willing to commit to a particular skill for 3 months, 6 months? Are you willing to commit to it to even learn? I had a friend that I mean, when I served back then, I had a friend and she started her career and I saw how much she put passion in it. As I speak to you, within 6 months, the person took some courses. Within 6 months, this person actually got a job with Access Bank. I mean, this person literally got a job with Access Bank in 6 months of coming into the career space. I saw that what Ife mentioned is actually true. Are you willing to even commit a part or a portion of your life? Like, okay, for the next 6 months, I want to be serious with this thing. And let me tell you, by the time you are done with the 6 months, it doesn't guarantee you that you will get a job. That's the first thing that you have done. Number two is now how can you put all of these things that you have learned into experience, into this, and that's where the part of collaboration comes to play. Prioritize experience over pay, and when you prioritize experience over pay, there's something that will happen to you. You discover that you are gathering experience, gathering knowledge, and by the time you have gathered knowledge over time and you have learned how to package your resume, what you will discover is that you have branded yourself as someone who can offer value. So when I get a resume at times, I try to perceive the value. I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. Nobody will see this and just say, this is what I'm looking for. You have seen, and I want you to know something, and that thing, there is always a job role for different experience. If you are an intern, don't be, don't be, don't be selfish with yourself, or don't try to lie that you are a mid-level. If you are truly an intern, stay at that internship. When you know that you have grown above that level of internship, you can then move to a junior developer or junior product designer, whichever one it is. Then from there, you have worked over time, you can graduate into mid-level, because you might be a senior developer in a particular company in Nigeria, but when you actually get out there, you might be called like a mid-level. You might become a mid-level depending on the kind of company you're actually working for and the kind of solution they're actually building. So the concept of senior is actually relative. So what is important is that, have you learned the right skill? Have you committed time to learn that skill? And after you have learned the skill, the next thing that I mentioned is, do you know how to position yourself? I will just go online and just show few things at the moment. Now, inside the same country or the same tech space that people are saying there is no job, there are no jobs and all. So now, this is someone that actually reached out to me on LinkedIn. Let me share the tab. Someone reached out to me from LinkedIn and was like, okay, Oluwasegun, I'm currently recruiting for technical product manager at Max, that's Max.ng, a mobility company across Africa, and I believe that you are a good fit for the role. Let me know if you are interested in this position. Can schedule an interview. That is someone who reached out to me. I did not bother myself putting my CV. This is a recruiter. We can see bilingual recruiter, French, English translator, whatever it is, recruitment. This is a recruiter reaching out to me. There are still other people, around. Okay, now this is someone else again reaching out, saying something. He said, "Dear Shegun, trust you are keeping well. You have a fairly decent profile, and I would like you to join my high-performing team of project managers, solution architects, and BAs. If interested, send your resume." Now, if you check this kind of person that is reaching out, you discover that this is not just this is someone who has, this is EY. For those of you that actually know EY, EY is a company that has over 300,000 employees, 8 million followers on LinkedIn. I mean, this is not a Nigerian company. So this is actually a project in Kenya and all. So look at this. So now, why I'm showing some of these things is because you need to know that people are actually not just interested in, they're not just interested in, I want to, I'm looking for a job, I'm doing this. No, there's something they are looking for. They're actually looking out for experience as well, which are the things he has mentioned. So you need to prioritize experience over pay. And in doing all of this, this will help you to position as the right person. It will no longer be you uh, it will no longer be you moving out, right? Reaching out to them. You can still reach out, right? You can still reach out, but companies will actually reach out to you. And one of the things that you can do online is actually a personal branding. So number one, LinkedIn is a very good platform where a lot of people have actually gotten a lot of jobs. So now, if you don't position yourself to recruiters, so there's something about LinkedIn algorithm. So if you post frequently, now recruiters actually go online, they type for my profession now, they type senior product manager, uh, junior product manager, or even senior software engineer, senior backend engineer. They actually go online to type those keywords. Now, you will never appear at the top of the search if LinkedIn does not know you. So, what does it mean by LinkedIn does not know you? If you have not been posting things, so now you need to be a proper, you need to be able to engage on LinkedIn. So, how do you engage on LinkedIn? Number one, set up a very good profile, like good profile with the right keywords that you need to put. Number two, you need to be sure that when you are you need to be able to post what you do on LinkedIn. Yes, post it. Learn the act of selling, because many of us don't actually know that the skill you have, you are actually selling it. You are a business person but an individual. You are a business person but an individual, so you are selling something to the world, you are selling something to the company. And that's why I can face people at interviews. I used to tell people some things. I say, uh I've never done an interview and you will tell me you don't want me. You will always proceed to the next stage. Some of the things that we always have to like have issue on, there are things like, okay, are you willing to relocate? Are you willing to do this? Of recent, this popular business analyst in Oika, so I was on an interview with her. So I was reached out to as well to come and do some things with them. And while I was on the call with Inoika, and we discussed a lot, and I was like, wow, is this the same person I see on LinkedIn, like everywhere and all? In short, I have some things I'm doing with her at the moment, and this is not just I'm going out everywhere, I'm looking for a job, I'm doing this. Even when you have looked for the job, they want to you actually have the practical experience that actually demonstrate what you have learned. So the three things, don't forget. Number one is you need to have the right skill. That's the beginning. If you don't have the right skill set that you have learned, in fact, you have not started the journey. That number two is that after having that right skill set, you now have like practical experience, collaboration. Try to get experience, work for people for free, ensure that your project has it. So it's like you don't have evidence, like you don't have evidence. When you're in interviews, it's actually your evidence that you start sharing. It's when you don't actually have experience that you start going online here and there, searching for English. When they ask, why do you want to work for us? Why do you want to do this? In fact, if you have practical experience, when they ask you questions, how do you resolve conflict? Each time they ask me those things in interviews, I just tell them like, okay, conflict resolution. Okay, I used to remember a time, so I was in a team and this was what happened. I'm always sharing story, and storytelling is one of the ways to kill employers. If you don't know how to tell a story, you will just keep explaining and explaining, and at the very end, they will tell you that okay, we appreciate that you have come in for the role, but we have decided to move with other people. I'm not lying to you. I've not done an interview before, and at the very end, just tell me like no, even from the interview, because I engage so much in interview that you don't have choice. You will have to just employ me. So get the skill, collaboration, and also personal branding to position yourself. I'm going to take a few questions, and in 15 minutes time, we should be out of here. So if you have a question, just raise your hand, and I'll call you. I'll call you if you have a question for me or you have a question for Ife. And you have to wait till the end of the webinar, because I have something I want to share with you. And because many people are here now, they're already like, how can they actually start this thing? Some have not even gotten the skill at all, but there are some that have the skill already and they know what they need to start doing. So I want everybody to be addressed. Like some don't even have the skill, they don't even know what to learn at all. So I have some things I want to share with you at the end of this webinar. All right, Timothy, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if you have a question, just raise hand, or just All right. I'm glad to hear that you joined the meeting. So if you have a question, just drop it. And in the absence of questions, I think I should just proceed with what I want to do right now. So now we understand that a lot of people have actually started this career. There are some that actually started. Maybe you have started a career like web design or web development, rather mobile development. But you discover that while learning it, you got frustrated, mentorship, just like the things that uh, okay, I'll answer your question later. So just like Ife mentioned, that mentorship has been problem to some people because they started learning and at the point they actually got stuck. It's because they are two. One of the ways to get confused the most is when you go online and you're not guided. You see someone saying this and you see someone else saying that. So that way you may not be able to get the proper tutelage to be able to get to where you've gone to. In fact, as a matter of fact, many people have reached out to me today because of things they've seen on my resume today. So at the early stage of my career, moved into I enrolled with okay, yeah, Afolabi, I can see you. I enrolled into the University of Cape Town. Afolabi, I can see you. Yeah, yeah. I know you guys are asking questions. I enrolled into the University of Cape Town, South Africa, and I enrolled for product management. If I tell you I've never regretted this kind of decision that I made, why did I make that decision? It's because I saw that okay, if I can invest my time into this kind of course and trust me, when I took the course, it really was expensive then. Yes, okay, I think I'll call the price then. So then it was $700, and that was around 2020 when I took that course, and I felt like, okay, if I take this course, what are the things that will how will it help my career? Trust me, I did not make that decision myself alone because I had to reach out to a mentor and he said I must take the course because I was like, this is expensive. He said, no, you have to take the course. And I was like, wow, really? I took the course, but it is something that I have always been grateful for that I took it. So, what am I trying to say? I faced a lot of, I was able to get that mentorship. So, it actually skyrocketed, or let me say, it helped my career to jump like like to jump like faster than the norm. So number one, having such on my resume and having learned such from that institute, I understand what it takes to be a product manager. And most of the times when I talk, I remember where I learned some of these things. So the right mentorship that I actually got at that early stage of my career really helped me. So learning the right things at the right time with the right set of people positions you for these things because you can go online, check this, check that. Before you know it, you have checked this and that, and for a long time, you have taken a lot of time to check things. And at the very end, you discover that you have taken an Israelite journey, just like Ife mentioned. So, are you willing to take the Israelite journey, or you want to take the journey that you know that when I take this, this is sure? And I'm introducing something. So we actually like launched our product school from Colatrek recently, and launching this, we have like two courses that we actually offer. So what exactly are these two courses that we are offering? And that's product design. So I'm going to answer your questions immediately after I'm done with this. So product design and product management. So there are a lot of people that actually started their career, but or they want to join the tech space and they feel like coding is really very hard. Yes, there are people that have entered. Not everybody can really code, but you have like a busy schedule and you don't actually know how to actually do, how to actually, or what to learn that you know that it will, you know, blend with what you're doing. So here are some courses that I know that if you put your time into it, if I is a product designer, and that's why I've actually brought the product designer. So it's not only people that are writing code that are doing well in tech. You all saw that rather from my LinkedIn and some things like I showed you. Like this is not just me just telling you this is what is happening. I'm telling you now. I just showed you those ones. Like okay, just see. This is just a little of those things that we say like okay, when you have this right experience. So now one of the things that we have put into our program is that all these things that I've mentioned, the three things that I mentioned, ranging from learning the skill, then moving into collaboration and into the personal branding online. We have added all of these things into our courses. And how do we do this exactly? Number one, you learn this tech skill for, when I say this, you have seen training online where you see people learning things for 6 weeks, 4 weeks. I'm not saying these trainings are bad, but trust me, when you learn something for 6 weeks, you are not the same as someone who has learned something for 6 months, 4 months, or even 12 months. There are kind of trainings like that, all right? And I understand that it's an online training. So our courses are actually 4 months. You have your 4 months of learning, so which is 16 weeks. So for 16 weeks, you are going to be learning product design. So product design is a lucrative career. I don't need to tell you much about product design again. Ife has done justice to a lot of them. And for me, product management, I've been doing this for quite a number of years now. And I can tell you, I take job and I still say, okay, I'm going to answer all the questions. I take jobs, right? That comes, and at the same time, I can choose jobs. I can say, I don't want to do this. I want to do this. So if you go online, you're going to see a lot of job openings that are outside. Like I said, there are a lot of people that have the skill, and companies are actually looking for those people with 5 years experience, 4 years experience, or 3 years on the minimum. We hardly see 2 years, but how are you going to navigate all of this? By the time you are done with this kind of course, after your 6 months, after your 4 months of learning, you are given an opportunity to write a project for a full month. Your project is going to be one of your first thing that you're actually publishing out there. We ensure if you're a product designer, you actually publish this out. If you're a product manager, you are going to be put on a project where you are going to, whatever you have built, that is what you will be paired with developers to actually build. So we have partnered with Tectomy and other companies that actually do internship. So when you're placed on internship and you're allowed to put what you have learned into practice, such that, don't forget, the end goal is to get a job. We put it on your resume, and putting it on your resume or your portfolio, that's the first step. So you already have collaborative projects, and doing this will pair you with other projects where you are able to work, directly. And you being able to work directly, right, is that when you are done with each project, if you're a product designer, you host on Behance, you host on whatever platforms that a product designer hosts their work. And as a product manager, you are put on the project. So there's a way product managers actually structure their own portfolio as well, on how to position yourself as well. So that's about collaboration. And the third, you're going to be taught how to develop your resume in such a way that everybody that is coming there actually perceive value. When they search for you, when they search for product designers or product managers or even software engineers, you are coming out. We teach you how to actually document what you do online. So as you document your growth, people that have documented their growth online, they have footprints of what they do online. And this is actually what is helping them to become the best. And people actually perceive them. Don't forget that if you talk about something every day, people start to believe that you have been consistent, all right? And they start reaching out to you. And they start saying, oh, it looks like this person has been consistent. And you are the first person that comes to the mind of such people. It's not enough to be telling people, I write product design. I do product design. Are we seeing what you are doing? We teach you how to actually put your brand. If you want people to start reaching out to you, even from internship level to junior role, to senior role, to whatever role that it is, you are going to be able to do this. And with all of these things that I've actually mentioned, so there's something that we're actually doing at the moment. In the commemoration of this product school, if you check our price online for this, if you go online at the moment, you will be seeing, so here is the course, and you can go into it. So if you want to become a product manager, if you know you have a leadership capability and you know that you love leadership and you know you can manage our product, you don't have to know anything. You don't have to know anything about tech to take this course. This course is as detailed as whatever you can call it. It's something you devote 2 hours daily to, and this you're going to be learning in product management. And the interesting part of it is, guess who this teacher is going to be? This is the teacher. So I'm actually the facilitator of this course. I'm going to be teaching you the practical experience to which I've used to build a company, and also I have been able to work with companies that have served brands. Brands, I mean, when I say brands, they are brands, Companies that have served brands like MTN, Airtel, NIMSI, Nigerian Judiciary, World Bank, and UNICEF, NIMA, and several other companies or big industry or whatever big company that you have ever seen. I'm going to be sharing my experience, and this is a very practical course that you all can actually join in as well. Now you are asking oh, does it mean I have to commit a whole of 100k? Trust me, this value you are getting, this is not even up to 1/5. This is not even up to 1/6 or 1/7 of what a product manager is earning in Nigeria. What a product manager is earning in Nigeria. This is not even up to it. And this is what all of this that you are committing into a course. And guess what? Guess the interesting thing inside what I am saying. The interesting thing is that you're actually not going to be paying this particular amount because of the fact that you are present in the webinar. So what exactly are you going to be paying? I want you to type it in the comment section. What you think this course is supposed to what? Whatever that you think this course is expected to worth, so that by the time I put it there, you actually see that, oh, are you actually paying higher or lesser than what you're seeing? Just put it in the comment section, the amount that you think it could be worth. Oh, $1,000. Okay, interesting. Yes, it's actually worth it because this is not even up to a salary of a product manager. So if what you're going to be doing at once, if you don't have to pay that kind of money, what you're going to be doing at once, you don't have to pay that kind of money, and you know that whatever salary you are earning at the very end is going to be more than this. Somebody said 20,000. Oh, it's not going to be up to that. What, 20,000 what? Dollars or what? Let's be guided. Okay, so that's an opinion anyway, but I don't get the currency that you're talking in. Oh, 20 Nigeria. Oh, amazing. All right, that's your opinion. Okay, so not to take much of your time, if you enroll in this course, you're paying just 60,000 naira only as an early bird. The early bird registration ends at the 30th of sorry, what am I saying? I said the early bird, if you register as an early bird and you are on this webinar, yes, I need to set that right, and you're in this webinar, that is the amount you are actually paying. And that price is not for the general early bird out there. That's not the actual price for the general early bird out there. So you have the opportunity between now and the 20th of September to pay that price before it goes back to the original price. 20th of September. This is just an offer that I know that if you jump on it, this is going to help you. And one of the ways in which you should do this is to ways in which you can jump on this is to use this link, and we are going to be pasting this on so you can write this link down, or if there's anybody that can put it into the chat, amplify.xyz/collateral quad. So you should schedule a call on how you're going to do this, or you reach out to our marketing team. So if you're not on the group, please ensure you are on that group, on one of the collateral groups, so you can reach out to tell them. Ensure that you are reaching out to someone who is an admin on any of those groups. Ensure it's an admin. We won't be responsible for any imposter. Once the person is an admin, you can reach out to such a person. So like I mentioned, that I did not want to take much of your time. I'll just give in just 13 minutes so that everybody that also has questions can actually ask their question, and by 9:30 we can call it an evening. All right. So, Afolabi, can you ask your question? So, and I'm sure your question might probably be going to Ifeoluwa. All right. Okay, if Afolabi is not here, then Abiola, can you ask your question? Okay, Afolabi is here.
Hello,
All
good
right.
evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate Mr. Kolawole for this webinar. I've learned about FIFA. It's
Oh, could you speak a little bit louder?
okay. So I have three questions. Number one
All
question
right.
is how do I build collaboration? How do I build collaboration? Yeah, I have some initial knowledge, but I need like a professional knowledge on how I can build collaboration, how I can be socially known. That's one. Number
Mm.
two now. Who do I follow on social media? Like I'm a data analyst. Should I follow my co-data analyst or I should follow those who are not related to data analysts? So that's my second question. And
Okay.
number
Okay, you still have
I
one more
believe
question.
in freelance. Yes, I said three.
Okay.
So the third question, the final question. I believe so much in freelancing, and I've gone to Fiverr, nothing is coming forth. Gone to Upwork, nothing is coming forth. My question is this now: do we need to take it like to change address, change phone number, to change our pictures, to buy followers? Do we really need all that to build up as a freelancer? So those are my questions.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll answer a bit of your question, but I think Ife should answer the question first as our guest. And so I want it to come from him first. Yeah, Ife, are you there?
Yeah, hello guys.
Yeah.
So, if I'm getting the question right, and maybe if I just talking about scaling up as a freelancer, right,
Mhm.
and getting more gigs, basically. Let me just say that, right? Now, also, so I'll speak a little bit about the collaboration too, and all of that. For collaboration here, as I say, you need to build your network here, and well, of course, we all have our social media platforms that we use, and LinkedIn is a very good space. You understand. Also, you can go online and search for Discord forums, and Slack forums for tech people too. You understand? So you can meet tech people there and collaborate. You can jump on. You can see freelance projects. Um, it's like we all know, it's usually a little bit slow when you start, still. But when you start meeting people, so for example, when you meet like 15 people, at least 5 people of those 15 people can at least introduce you to other people and all that before you kick off. So you have to use a lot of these tools. For freelancing, I think um, research is important. And what do I mean by that? A lot of freelancing tools get plugged these days. That means there are like more people jumping on a certain tool because that's a new tool in place. But you need to be able to use a lot of these platforms out there. I know a lot of people are on TopTal, a lot of people are um, on Upwork, a lot of people are on Fiverr, and some that I cannot pick right now, but they're not out there. Um, and it's about being seen at the end of the day. How you can put your, like Shegun was saying earlier, he was talking about using the algorithm. You understand, algorithm of LinkedIn. You have to be posting, you have to be doing all of that. In these freelance tools or applications, basically, you need to be able to like speak to the people putting the gigs there. You need to be able to tailor your profile to look like a professional profile, you understand, to speak to these things. And it all boils down to also having projects that you have worked on, you understand. That's why it's always very good to, if it's possible, go through mentorship programs, you understand, where, at the end of the day, you work on certain projects, you collaborate with other people and you can post something out there, you understand, just to show that you have some form of experience and relax, you get. So I will say something here. I tell people that tech is showbiz. I can guarantee you that a lot of people in certain positions that are not really qualified to be in that position, but they were able to present themselves, to brand themselves in a certain kind of way that they look attractive and they were brought into the system. You understand? So I'm not saying you should totally do that, but I'm just saying that you can brand yourself, yes, make yourself look flashy, but be able to back it up, So those are some of the things you need to do. I hope I answered your question to an extent.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. So, in fact, that has answered a lot of questions. So, somebody just dropped something there. Tech2Me is actually a community that actually helps people to build, like, this is what they are actually meant for, like what they do in the tech industry. There are a lot of people who have skills, but they cannot transfer it into job, and experience is the barrier that most of these people really have, and that is what they have come to do. So go to Tech2Me, go and sign in. I think that's Tech2Me. If there is a member of Tech2Me on this call, you can just drop the link. So for as many as possible people that are looking at how they can collaborate, yeah, thank you for that additional. So just go there, try to collaborate with people so you can put such skill set, such project on your portfolio, so that they can see that, oh, you have actually done something. Trust me, you don't have to work for the biggest of the biggest company. I just need to know that as a developer or whatever you do, is your project actually live? Like, sometimes I hate to see like resumes, right? If it is an intern resume that I'm seeing, if I see .netlify.app, I'm okay. But you can't say you are applying for a senior role and I'm seeing .netlify.app. Honestly, like, I can't help the bias. I wouldn't be able to recommend such or to be able to say I'm employing such person. Why? Because it shows that you actually don't have experience working with people and all, and that may be a turn off, and you might have to learn so many things at the beginning of that career. Trust me, like, the market landscape is actually different. In other countries, you might actually get an internship easily. So if you have .netlify.app, most of the jobs that you'll be able to get are internship, and sometimes interns are not paid or something. So that's actually like a process. So go on Tech2Me, join the community and ask your question about how you can collaborate as a data analyst, or whatever career that you have. They will really help you, and Collatrek actually also partners with them as well. So if you go through us, or maybe you have learned through us, but that's actually our learners alone, we put you in a training, we put you in that kind of project where you're able to put your skill in there and solve problems. And we believe that that's actually how you can get the first job. We teach you how to use platforms like Indeed. So I'll be mentioning some platforms. Indeed is actually a very good platform where you can actually get jobs. You will get jobs, like they will contact you. There was a time that I actually, like, because of what I do, right, I put out my CV just to test some platform, and I see like, wow, I put my resume on Indeed, talent.com, and there's some of these platforms. They will actually reach out. So, and I saw that they were reaching out. I was like, wow, these platforms actually work. So try to get those kind of platforms and put your resume. But if you don't have the right skill and you don't have the experience and you don't know how to position yourself, your resume will just be bounced back over and over again. You can anticipate some other webinars when you see them. I might be talking more about this personal branding of a thing. But before then, you being aware of the fact that you need to brand yourself properly to the employer, I think that's like one of the steps you need to climb on the ladder. So can we have your Fadipe? We have just 4 minutes to the end of the webinar.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would love to appreciate Collatrek family and Shegun for putting up this knowledge sharing session. And my question goes to Ifeolu, actually. So he mentioned something during his presentation that he has a lot of experience across several sectors, and
okay.
So I kind of have that experience. So that's something that happened to me early last year. A recruiter reached out and
Okay.
she was looking for a software engineer. I mean, a recruiter from Netherlands. So when I sent my CV, she saw that I had a lot of experience. So actually, during my beginning stage, I was opportune to work on different kind of projects. So that kind of shot me in the leg. Like, she saw quite a number of things that I've done, and comparing it with the number of years I had. So she was like, maybe I was jumping from one company to the other. So that was how I lost that opportunity. So I just want to know how, if I was able to like represent that properly on the CV, and that did shoot in the leg.
That's a very, 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 very deep question. So, if please, can you answer that question? I have an answer, but I want you to answer the question.
Okay. So what I want to ask is this: now, these experiences that you had, how did you get the experience? Did you get the experiences working with different companies at the same time, or you got the experiences working with different companies at different times, and you're actually moving from one company to another? How did you get these experiences?
Well, it's a mix of both actually. So during my beginning stage, I was up to like, even if I'm being paid or not, like I was available for projects so that I can build my skills. So there are times that I do 2-3 projects at the same time. But at that period, there were times that I was working based on contracts, and there were times that I was working with companies at the same time, like not more than, like not one company, like two. Yeah, so it's a bit of both.
Okay.
Okay, I think the question, sorry for cutting. I think the question would have been, how did you represent it on your CV? Maybe that was the question, really.
Yeah. So I'm getting to that. So the thing is this year, and that would have been a question I will ask here. That how did you represent it on your CV? Now that did you now, were you putting all those places as different companies on your CV, or what did you do? Then I'll now answer my question. I'll now answer.
Yes, actually. Even though
Okay.
I've changed, I'm much more wiser now. So, but then I put it, I
Okay.
attached companies and like straightforward the way I did it.
Okay. So that is it's good that I have changed that right now. So for me, what I do is this year. It's not every company that I've worked on that is on my CV, but in my portfolio, you will see almost all those jobs. So that's what I do. You understand? So, for example, now the place that me and Shegun worked here, it's not you can't see it on my profile, you can't see it on my LinkedIn, yeah. But generally, if you open my portfolio, you would see their work there. And why is that? Because I didn't spend a long time there. I didn't spend up to a year. So I have a rule here. Organizations that I don't spend up to a year, I don't put them on my CVs. That's what I do. You understand? Because I've talked to a lot of HRs, and they like, once they see somebody that doesn't spend up to a year or spends less than a year in a certain work environment, they feel that person is unstable and that person might leave anytime, so they don't want to feel that. You understand? So these are one of the things you need to pick. So like I said, what I do is this year, I look at the organizations I've worked and I've spent ample time. I have them on my CV. You understand? So for designers, designers now, luckily for us, we now have portfolios again. My portfolio now have my best work. The crazy thing is, my best work might not even be from a company that I've spent more than a year. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
You understand? You understand? So, I mean, those are one of the things you need to look at. You understand? So, if you can get that balance right, you understand, you will be fine. So, usually they will advise you. If you have like 5 years of experience, yeah, in the tech industry now, not even in the normal industry, in the tech industries, they will advise you not to have more than like 3 or 4 companies there. That's what people advise you. You understand? You understand? So if you divide it, if you divide 5 by 3, you understand? That's like maybe 1 point something. You understand? Like maybe 1.5 or something. It's not to that, but you understand. So that shows that you spent like more than a year in each of those companies. So it looks manageable to them. So imagine having 2 years on your CV and you have like 4 companies. You understand? And the HR is worried. And I won't lie to you, the same thing happened to me. I was some CVs were sent to me to look at, and I was seeing people that started working in 2020 and they already have like 6 companies or 7 companies. I won't lie to you, I was just overlooking those CVs. I was just overlooking them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this person hasn't gotten to that stage that they have calmed down and they now understand how it is to be in the work environment. You understand that kind of thing. Nobody says you should not freelance, you understand. But I mean, just make sure that you organize this, you brand yourself. It goes back to that branding I was talking about. You get brand your. There's a company I work. I remember when I was there, I was telling my fellow designers there that see, none of our projects here in my portfolio, they are not there. You understand that kind of a thing? And they were like, why and everything. I'm like, it doesn't necessarily have to be. A lot of the projects on my portfolio are actually my freelance projects. I would like to you understand? Because there's one thing about
because you actually have the opportunity to do the whole use case, the whole persona. Like you give the opportunity to do this case study well. I get.
Yes. So that's the thing about freelance. You're in control. So you can take a lot of decisions, and there's really not this red tape. See, if you work in big organizations, you would have designed for like 4 weeks. They'll just call you back and tell you that, see, they are changing direction, they are going away. You understand? Because they are paying you monthly, they cannot do anything. But freelance people still they will still respect a lot of that, and because they are really on a budget, so they are really careful. Because of the number of corrections and all those things. So it's easier for you to have a say in freelance projects, and you can try new design approaches. Now, I'm speaking from a design standpoint now. You can try new design approaches, latest design approaches. But if you are working for organizations like banks, they will tell you to go and use their rubbish design system that they have been using. You want to change. Who are you that you want to change everything they have been using before? You understand? So
legacy.
Legacy and the likes, you understand? So those are just one of the things you need to look at. And let me tell you, you don't necessarily need to have one CV. You can have a CV that targets a kind of gig you are trying to get. You understand? When I want to get remote gigs, like if a remote companies say they want to have my CV, I have a CV for them. So what I do is I have a CV of where I did those remote jobs. You understand? So I have more of that. You understand? If I'm looking for if a company that is looking for someone that is going to be hybrid or come to the office and everything, I have a CV that is tailored towards that. You understand? So you need to be able to adapt to the market too. You understand? So I hope I answered your question. I hope I was able to drop some nuggets to help.
Oh yes, definitely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Wow. Okay. I think we have to go now because I've begged for time. I begged for 15 minutes, but we ended up adding another 20 minutes to it. And I know that it's actually for us to actually learn better. We may not be able to learn everything today, but someone is in the chat asking for how they can actually reach out to you at the moment, because I know that this is an opening for opportunity to network, and the person already said he knows you have a tight schedule. So what platform can people reach out to you?
Okay, so you can hear me. I thought I was muted. So you can reach out to me on IG. You can reach out to me on WhatsApp. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. You laughed when I said WhatsApp.
That WhatsApp, don't mention it. I will don't mention that WhatsApp.
Okay, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me on Instagram. I do those two very well.
Okay, can you drop your handle? Caller.
Okay, so for IG, at Caller Binary. Then LinkedIn, let me just copy and paste. I think I have this one open here.
Amazing.
Yep.
Okay,
So that's
thank
my
you.
LinkedIn too.
Please, guys, try to pick up the link as they have shared it in the comments section. So, apologies, we may not be able to take more questions tonight, and we apologize for that. And I believe that we are still going to have more webinars. But one of the things I'm going to do, all right, is I'm going to add Ife temporarily into the group, and whoever have a question, ask the question. Is going to reply you via VN or via chat, and once it's tomorrow, I will have to remove him so we don't spam his inbox and all. But like he mentioned, he appreciates that you chat him on Instagram or reach out on LinkedIn. So thank you very much, guys. So someone asked if the session was recorded. Yes, it was recorded, and you will get it on. You get it either you follow me on LinkedIn, or you have my WhatsApp. You are my WhatsApp status, or you are in one of our communities. So I will ensure to post it around. Or you visit my personal YouTube channel, Oluwasegun Kolawole. You will get it there as well. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. I appreciate, and do have a lovely evening.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Thank you so much, Ife.
Yep. Any day, anytime. It was nice meeting everybody here.